Welcome to Negosyo Negosyo, where we create conversations about small and new business opportunities so that we can inspire and educate others who may also want to go into business. That's why on Negosyo Negosyo, I want you to show me your negosyo. Hello mga kanegosyo! Welcome sa isa na namang episode ng Negosyo Negosyo. My name is Jules and I am your host. Dito po sa episode na to, my guest is a branding and marketing specialist po by profession. She has experience working in the fast-moving consumer goods industry. Also, she works sa food and beverage and sa tourism industries. Kaya itong business niya is more or less very much connected sa tourism industry. She's currently based back, bumalik po siya sa kanyang hometown na Butuan City, and she is helping to manage her family's business, and she's also pursuing her own ventures on the side. So, without further ado, allow me to welcome my guest for this episode, si Angela Andaya. Hello, Angela.
Hi, good evening.
Good
Thanks for
evening.
inviting me.
Thank you for gracing the show. So, you're based in Butuan, di ba? Butuan City sa Mindanao.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so Butuan City.
Yes.
Nasa North Mindanao po tayo.
For those na hindi nakakaalam, no. Ako mahina din ako sa geography. Ang Butuan is in Mindanao, di ba?
Yeah, Butuan is in Caraga region, Agusan del Norte. Province of Agusan del Norte.
So, actually, I have relatives malapit lang dyan sa Kapatbaran City. It's a few kilometers away from Butuan. So, si Angela
Butuan
po.
City.
Yes. Si Angela po, basically, nakatira siya sa a little bit of paradise. Yan. So, yan po yung mga this is what Butuan City looks like, mga famous landmarks and tourism spots. They also have the Butuan National Museum. So, diyan ka ba talaga pinanganak?
I was actually born in Bacolod because my mom is from Bacolod, but I grew up here in Butuan. My dad naman, dito po yung hometown niya.
Okay.
So, Bismith. Visayas,
Alright,
Mindanao.
Okay. So, you work in food and beverage, FMCG ka. So, how long did you work in those industries? Then, eventually, di ba, nag-tourism ka?
Yeah, so straight out of college, I went to my first job, which was in an FMCG. So I was there for 3 years. And then after that, I explored other things. So nag-freelance din ako for branding and marketing. Tapos that's actually when I started also experimenting with different hobbies. So I started a small macrame business. So that's related actually to ARIA. It's part of that story, the business that we started later on. Tapos I moved to Siargao for a year, and that's where I was a manager for a tourism company, and I did marketing also for a restaurant group on the island. Tapos after that, bumalik na ako sa Butuan.
Yun. So, ito yung Siargao na napakaganda. Gaano katagal kang nag-work at tumira sa Siargao?
Well, I was living and working in Siargao for a year. Pero before I moved there, I was already visiting maybe 3 times a year when I was working in Manila. So I kept going back to Siargao already. By the time I moved there, I had a lot of friends na parang it was a very easy transition.
Yeah. Kung titignan mo nga yung photos, parang kala mo nasa parang Bali ang dating niya. So beautiful. So,
Yeah, it's a very beautiful place.
yeah. So itong business mo, going to your business itself, which is ARIA. So tell us more about your business. What is ARIA?
So, Aria, to put it simply, we're a slow fashion brand, and we create accessories from natural materials, and everything is handmade. So that's what's important to us. So if it's summed in three things, it's that we're 100% natural, we're 100% handmade, and we're 100% joy. The last one is very important because we would like to think, we would like to emphasize that everyone we work with, we want na masaya sila working with us. So from our community partners to our suppliers to our customers also. So yun yung business namin. Our products are ranging from woven wallets, laptop cases, handbags. Tapos in the future, may ideas pa kami pero have to survive the present first.
So looking at your products, no. So ito siya. These
So that's
are
our laptop case.
laptop case, but this is using di ba? Traditional local material. Anong material to?
Yeah. It's actually a native grass. It's called buli. So that's the
Buli.
local term for it. So BULI.
Okay.
Tapos depending on the item, iba-iba din yung grass or material that they use depending on what kind of item and how big or small or how delicate the design is. Pero yung items namin dito made from buli grass.
Mhm. So, para i-produce ito, these are all handmade, tama ba? So, kailangan ng mga
Yeah.
parang mga traditional na nagwi-weave nito, tama ba yan?
Yes. So when we started this collection, so this is our woven collection. It's really a partnership with the local weavers in the north of Siargao. So we spent a lot of time with them, and we also tried to study and understand kung ano yung ginagawa nila and ano yung limitations ng alam nila, and where can they be creative also, ano yung kaya nilang gawin, anong gusto lang gawin, and together we came up with these designs.
Tell us more about yung mga weavers mo. Um, paano ba to? Nag-employ ka ba ng talagang weavers na yun na talagang ginagawa nilang livelihood, o nag-employ ka ng mga bagong tao? You taught them the skill?
Okay. So actually this started because there's a local NGO in Siargao that opened up weaving classes. So yung unang nag-reach out sa weavers and made them accessible to the community in Siargao, it's a local NGO called Local. So si Local, they started organizing these weaving workshops where tourists could come and make little woven items. So kami din as people living there, when things come up like that, we also do our part to support. So when we joined, me and a friend, we joined these workshops, and then that's when we thought about working even closer with the weavers. So to answer your question, they were not they were already weaving before we met them, and most of them, it was more of a additional income kind of thing kasi mga stay-at-home moms po sila. Most of them stay-at-home grandmas, stay-at-home moms. So weaving was something that they did pag may gusto lang matuto or pag may bumili lang. And it was sort of an extra thing lang for them. And
Okay.
when we came along, it took a while to build a relationship with them kasi feeling ko akala nila will just come in and out and not really be there for the long run. But after many months of going back to them, we established na okay, this is our plan. We want this to be a legitimate source of income for you kasi you guys are very talented. Tapos ito yung mga designs namin that we're working on together. Tapos pag okay na ito, order na kami ng order from you. So we wanted them to see it as a real source of income, not just something that comes and goes.
So yung sabi mo nga yung mga weavers mo, kasi pag sinabi mong weaving, ang picture na nasa isip ko, yung mga yung mga nanay, mga mostly women, di ba, na they are doing the crafts. And it's good na ikaw naisipan mo na ito yung business mo kasi it helps to to keep this craft alive kasi and babato ko rin sa yung question, yung bang mga anak nila, for example, kumbaga next generation, meron pa bang nagmamana nitong itong craft na to?
Yun yung actually yung mahirap kasi right now, the women that we work with, they are, mga lola na sila. And we always ask them na, baka may gusto kayong i-invite para matuto din sila. Or medyo, when we were producing a lot earlier this year, we were saying, may malaki yung order namin. So maybe you can invite more people to come and learn. And they would express to us that a lot of the younger generation really don't have the patience to learn how to weave because it really takes a lot of patience because it's a repetitive thing. Tapos minsan magkakamali ka, tapos you start again. So we always encourage them to look for other people to come. But in the end, sila lang talaga yung nagsistay. So they were always frustrated then with the younger ones kasi, and to quote them, sabi na cellphone lang sila ng cellphone, ayaw nilang matuto, ganon. Yeah, so we were just telling them, you know what, let's just keep doing what we're doing, and then maybe later when they see that it's something that we're proud of and that people appreciate also, let's see if more people would be interested to learn and to join then.
Initially, saan yung naging market mo? Do you export or sa local lang yung market mo?
Okay, so when we thought of this, my partner and I thought of this business, we were both living in Siargao. And what we noticed then kasi is that there are a lot of tourist shops that sell woven bags, native bags. Pero when you look at the tag, they're made in other places or you don't really know where they're from. And sabi namin, like, a lot of people, when they travel, they want to look for something authentic to their destination, something that has roots and has a story to tell. So our initial market was really tourists. That's why we created items that are easy to pack. Also, we wanted them to fit into a suitcase. We created items that we have small items like passport cases and wallets, and we have larger items like bags. So it was really tailored for tourists looking for something authentic to bring home. It's part of a bigger story. Not just of Siargao, but yun sabi mo nga about the Philippines, yung weaving history namin. Yun.
True, kasi yun nga di ba yung mga traditional na bags na ganyan, mga woven, that's our legacy din it is what makes our culture unique from other cultures in Asia and other parts of the world. For example, yung mga ganyang traditional na handicrafts, traditional na, what do you call this, whether it's weaving or, for example, sa Japan, yung gumagawa ng sword, diba, by hand.
Yeah.
They really, the government really protects and gives incentive para to keep that part of their culture alive. And
That's
kaya I was drawn to this to your business kasi you're helping to keep part of our culture alive.
Thank you. Yun nga, and we also wanted, kasi yung unang-una daw, weavers that we met in Siargao, at first, when we asked them when we tried to look around kung ano yung ginagawa nila, it was limited honestly to banig or yung mga storage boxes, yung or bayong, which is the traditional bag also used for your vegetables or for whatever things that you might need to carry. So we also wanted them to see that you can elevate the design and make it even better, knowing just using what you know. So we wanted them to be able to see na you can make really nice things that people can want also. Yung nakakatuwa din kasi after the process of sampling, yung may finished product na kami, we put the logos, we put yung mga strap and stuff, we wrapped it in a bag. When we showed it back to them, sobrang tutuwa sila. Like, they started modeling it around the house. Parang, they were very happy to see na, wow, ang ganda, like, we made that together. So, that's also a big reason na we wanted to do things like this. Kasi, even when you're very talented on your own, if you're not exposed to different ways to apply your talent, hindi ka din mag-grow. And to see them having that creative moment, even in their old age, is very inspiring for us to see.
That's nice. Yun nga yung na-inspire sila to do something beyond dun sa the usual na ginagawa nila. That's already an impact. You're already making an impact sa kanila. And hopefully nga, the next generation would have an interest in this. Prior to the pandemic, to the lockdown, so you're doing a lot of local selling sa Siargao. Now that basically, di ba, sarado na yung mga tourist spots eh. How have you shifted your business?
Actually, the story is that we weren't able to even launch properly in Siargao. Kasi yung launch namin was supposed to be in March. So, I think we started sampling maybe July or June last year. No. Mga earlier pa. Siguro mga April or May. We started sampling last year.
Okay. Summer of last year.
And since then, summer of last year. So we were making sales then, but it was really just through friends. So our friends would notice what we're doing, tapos gusto nilang bumili kasi they're leaving the island or may pasalubong for whoever they're going home to, wherever in the world. So we had some sales from that. Pero yung official launch talaga na find us in these stores, hindi siya nangyari because of COVID. So the week that I was supposed to leave for Siargao to transfer our stocks from the weaver's place into the stores that we agreed to partner up with, that was the week na nag-start na yung mga lockdown dito sa Caraga. So, we were pretty surprised, syempre, by what happened. Tapos, nag-pause muna kami. And then, after a while, we were saying, okay, we need to do something kasi we don't want everything to just end here. So, yung challenge naman dun was that I couldn't even sell the stocks because they weren't me. They were in Siargao. So,
naipit yung stocks mo sa Siargao.
Yes. Kasi yung plan naman talaga is yung stocks, pupunta lang naman sa stores. Kasi pre-COVID, ang dami namang tourists. So, we didn't even feel the urgency to sell online yet. We wanted to test the tourist response in Siargao. We wanted to test the price perception, ganun, before presenting it online. That was our initial plan. Ayun, napilitan. So what happened was that a few of my friends that lived on the island, they were kind enough to help me arrange to bring the stocks from Siargao to me in Butuan. So that only happened last month. Nag-post ako sa Bounce Back. Yeah, that was the day that the stocks arrived um, in Butuan, and I felt like, okay, I'm ready to promote kahit konti and see what happens.
Okay. For the benefit of our viewers, Angela was talking about Bounce Back, which is yung community of mga entrepreneurs, businessmen sa Facebook, which is Bounce Back PH. So, napilitan ka mag-transition from physical, di ba, personal, kumbaga
Yeah.
selling. Now, you have to shift to online. So, where do you sell online?
So for now, we are still working on our website. Actually, my sales target kami bago mag-website. So I'm trying to sell a few more
Wow.
bags before we. Yeah, so that's really the issue now. Because this was a side project, so it's not our main source of income, but it was being supported by our main sources of income. So when the pandemic hit, we have to tighten our belts. So now we're really trying to see how self-sustaining this project is. So ayun, like right now we're limited to selling on Instagram and on Facebook. And then hopefully with the next few sales, we'll be able to start investing in a website. So for now, ito yung sales channels namin.
So this is their uh, Instagram account and this is their Facebook. Okay. Between the two, saan ka mas maraming inquiries or sales? Sa Facebook pa
Um,
or Instagram?
sa Instagram. So Instagram is a wider sales channel for us. Tsaka on Instagram, you get queries from around the world. So we're starting to look into anong options namin for international shipping at this time. Ayun. For Facebook, we have yet to invest really in um, spending on boosted ads. So we'll see what we can unlock with Facebook.
Okay. Ano nag-work sa'yo so far in terms of pag-market mo dito sa social media? You mentioned you did something sa bounce back.
Okay, so unang-una kasi we don't have much budget to play with right now. I explored ito yung mga tips for people with no budget, paano mag-online marketing.
Sige, go.
So,
Yan talaga ang
with,
gusto nating ma-impart sa mga kanegosyo natin. Mga
yeah,
practical tips, di ba? Kung wala kang budget,
practical
ano pwede mong
tips.
gawin?
Because
Go.
I've been on both sides of the spectrum. Like when I worked before for FMCG, ang laki-laki lang mga budget. So you have a lot of things you can do. But now on a very small scale and working in a pandemic time, ano yung pwede niyong gawin? Number one is that try to look for different niche markets or interest groups that you can target on Facebook. So and then what that means is that I look for different Facebook groups, simply put, that might have the market I'm looking for. So number one, bounce back. Kasi that's the entrepreneurial people that want to see what's out there. There are a lot of groups for like handmade, local crafts. There are groups on sustainable fashion. There are groups that support social enterprises. Yung kahit yung lifestyle groups, parang boho lifestyle interest, ganun. So, without spending anything, you can post in those groups and feature your products and see if there are people who would like to buy. So, I actually made my first sale, siguro mga just from the bounce back post, I think we sold 5 items. which
Not bad.
meant a
Not
lot
bad.
na for me. Oh, that's
Oo.
not bad kasi I didn't
Yeah.
spend anything nga.
Yeah.
Um,
Zero
yun.
budget for advertising yun, ha? Nakabenta ka.
Oo, nakabenta na ako.
Yeah.
Ayun. Tapos, after that, the next thing you look into is, aside from groups, who are your friends that are willing to help you at this time? So, I looked at, actually, yung photos that you were showing, those are friends of ours in Siargao that
Wow. Okay.
we're willing to help us also by sharing our photos. So some of those friends have their own social media following on Instagram. So when they share our
Nice.
photos, we also get noticed by other people. Yeah.
Yun. Actually,
So yun yung
magandang tip.
mga low budget.
Magandang tip din yun, ha? Magandang tip din yun. Kung meron ka mga friends na very active sa social media, yung daming following, di ba? Ipa-endorse mo yung product mo, total, magkaibigan naman kayo, di ba? So, pwede rin
Totoo
yun.
yan. Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, but
That's
I
a practical tip.
Oo. But I think what's important also is parang, kasi a lot of people, ayaw naman nila, they don't want to be seen as like sell out kung ano lang yung sinashare nila. So I think it's important as a brand owner to know also what's the purpose behind your brand, what's the story. Like for us in ARIA, we know that, but we really know that it's true that every time you support our products, you're supporting livelihood also of these women. So our friends don't have any problem sharing that kind of message or that kind of vision. So it makes it easier for you to get that kind of willingness from people, friends and strangers, when you know what your brand stands for. Yun.
Nice.
Tsaka kung authentic, dapat authentic talaga siya. It should be authentic to your business.
Right. Tsaka, balikan ko lang din yung sinabi mo na importante kasi when you do social media advertising, ganyan, yung pinopromote mo yung product mo. Sinabi ni Angela, naghahanap siya ng interest group. Kumbaga, hanapin mo yung something na common or related dun sa product mo. Kasi si Facebook uses artificial intelligence. So, importante is yung pinopromote mo siya sa mga taong more or less may interest sa product mo or yung product line mo related doon sa niche o doon sa interest ng mga tao na yon o mga groups na yon. Kasi in my previous episodes, meron akong guest, mga naman sila, expert sila sa search engine optimization. So alam nila itong mga ganito. Sinabi rin nila sa akin na importante yun when you do Facebook, whether nag-advertise ka or promote mo lang, make sure that you promote it with the same same industry, same interest.
Yeah.
Basta kailangan related. Mahirap yung pinapapromote mo, yung mga bags mo, na walang connect doon sa sa group na yon.
Oo. Actually, that also applies in influencer marketing. So, like for example, yung sabi ko kanina, when we asked our friends to promote it also, we tried to make sure that yung image ng friends namin fit into the brand story. Like yung the people in the photos that you saw earlier, one of them is into sustainable tourism. So, nag-farm to table tours siya. Another one is a pro surfer. So, she's very into the lifestyle also of being one with nature. Yung isa naman, yoga instructor. So, these people will have a authentic and organic market of people that will also be interested in what you have to offer. So, yung authenticity lang throughout is very important. Tsaka yung sabi mo about interest, other groups that I posted in that were effective were Manila vegans. So, ito yung mga vegan, people who follow a vegan lifestyle because all of our products are also cruelty-free, if you want to put it that way. Disposable. Buhay Zero Waste is another group that I targeted. So, Yun yung mga tao that look into what's biodegradable or what's made with natural resources. So that's the kind of awareness lang para may mga low budget hacks to reach your intended market.
Good, salamat. So yun very practical tips na from Angela. Thinking about your business, thinking about your brand. Wag mo siyang isipin na produkto lang siya. Isipin mo
So
yung
ayan.
brand. Ano ba yung gusto mong i-project na image ng brand mo? Ano yung mga related na subject matter, mga whatever points of interest. Think of yung mga related na topics dun sa brand mo, hindi lang yung sa product mo. Kasi kailangan yun, kumbaga, parang you're telling a story, dapat tahi-tahi lahat yung mga parts ng story mo. So yeah, magandang tip from Angela. You mentioned something about sustainable tourism. Ano ba yun? What is sustainable tourism?
So there are many ways to describe sustainable tourism, but the definition that resonates with me is sustainable tourism is when the people in the community are also positively affected by tourism versus you negatively affected. Aside from the community, it's also that sustainable tourism practices sustainability when it comes to the environment. So it's not harmful and sana it's regenerative to the environment. So what happens usually with tourism is that tourism in itself is a money making industry. It's a very profitable industry, but then it's not as inclusive as people would think. So, for example, in Siargao, it experienced a boom in the last how many years, but who are the people that are profit having the most profit from this tourism boom? I can tell you that it's not the local community. So sustainable tourism is trying to find a way to include the people that matter the most with the growth of tourism. And also not to forget about the environmental impact of tourism. Yun siya. So that's why that goes back to the simple insight na parang wow, ang dami nagbebentang woven items dito. Then bentang-bentang siya talaga with all these foreign tourists. Tapos may weavers naman sa island, bakit hindi sila kasama sa trend or sa demand na to? So we wanted to include them also so that when there is a demand and there is a market, the locals also get a piece of the pie. So that's our little way of trying to contribute to sustainable tourism.
Napansin ko lang meron ka mga products sa likod mo. Do you want to show them?
These are from the knotted collection. So ito naman, kasi the pictures that you saw earlier were mostly from the woven collection that was made from grass. This is another collection that we're working on. It's made from jute rope. So
Okay.
it's also 100% biodegradable kung ganon. Yung
Nice.
buttons natin are hand-carved coconut buttons.
Okay.
So this is one of the bags.
Okay.
Ito
And
yung
to
workshop
produce that,
ko.
okay. To produce that, mga local rin to? Local craftspeople, weavers?
So for this one, for this collection actually, because I moved back to Butuan, the goal for me was, kasi ako yung gumawa nito. It's actually macrame techniques that were applied to this bag design. So this one, what makes it different is that I was the one with the skill, and then my partner was the one who had the design. So that's how we started the brand actually. And then my intention was to teach women to make this. So since I moved out of Siargao, I wasn't able to teach the women there. Tsaka also, to be honest, nahirapan ako to find people that were interested now to learn how to do it. Kasi yung weavers nga mismo, nahirapan to find people who want to weave. So this is actually another nice story because when I arrived in Butuan, I asked my parents to help me find women who might be interested to learn. And I found people here. So through a local church that was dealing with um, less fortunate communities. They were able to identify women in their community that were into handicrafts. So parang may ginagawa na silang crafts on their own. So they brought those women to me and I talked to them, and some of them were interested to learn how to make the bags. So after how many months, nagtitraining kami with these women, and ito na yung magawa nila. So they're able, I don't make the bags anymore. It's the women who make it, and then we get to pay them also. Yun. So it's just a little different from the woven collection. Since the weavers had the skill, we just helped them explore that skill. With this one, it's different because we were the ones that trained them, so that they would have an extra source of livelihood. So those are our
Nice.
two communities, the stories of the two different collections.
Kaya yan ang mga kanegosyo. Please do check out si Angela, yung kanyang business na ARIA, because every time you purchase something from her shop, you're also helping to support mga local handicrafts people, yung local economy. So these are her social media, Facebook and Instagram accounts. You can also get in touch with her through her Gmail. So please do check her out kasi every time you buy from her, you are helping yung local economy.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Angela, for being here, for gracing the show. And I hope and pray that lumakas pa yung business mo because you're doing a good thing for the local economy, for yung mga traditional weavers and mga handicrafts people.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yan po ang episode natin, punong-puno ng storya, punong-puno ng mga lessons, practical tips from Angela. Please do support ARIA and other local businesses kasi nakakatulong po tayo sa ating local economy. Plus, we also keep alive yung mga ganitong traditional handicrafts that are part of our culture. So check out Angela and her business, ARIA. So thank you for watching Negosyo Negosyo. Again, my name is Jules. I am your host. And until the next episode, I would just like to say goodbye and God bless.